Welcome to the Madden 20 launch defensive game plan on playbook.gg. My name is Zan, and I'll be the voice that you hear throughout this game plan. Part of the reason that we decided on the 4-6 defense at launch was because we noticed that the competitive meta had shifted for the first time in well over 5 years to a run-first game. It's been a long time since we've seen top-level competitive players running the ball 70 to 80% of their downs and chewing up 200 to 300 yards on the ground per game. You may have noticed that a lot of players and a lot of tip sites in the community have led off with really nice ebooks themselves that have gotten pressure on the quarterback, however, lack the ability to stop the run. We're going to provide you the ability to put pressure on the passer, but in this game plan, we've taken a huge focus on stopping the run, namely some of the more effective concepts such as the I-form close, the I-form close slot, single back tight flex, and many of the popular running concepts such as stretch and halfback dive that are being overly used in Madden, in addition to some of the X factor abilities like the arm bar and the outside zone specialist. Because of these factors, the run game is very hard to stop this year, so we put a lot of lab work over the first week of Madden 20, and that is the reason that we waited a little bit to get this game plan out to you, is that we wanted to make sure that we had options for all types of players. Within this game plan, you're going to find user run defense that's going to get you hit sticks in the backfield on the ball carrier for more fumbles and more turnovers on downs. You're going to find CPU run defenses if you feel that your user isn't up to par. You're going to find bait run defense, such as Mr. Smith's bait run defense that is going to bait your opponent into calling a run that you want them to call on a 4th down and short, only to be tackled in the backfield for a loss. You're going to find 3-man unslidable pressures with a running back blocking on the field. You're going to find zone blitzes that are going to confuse 6- and 7-man pass protections. And you're also going to find lockdown coverages that are going to force your opponents to really struggle to find open receivers once you get them out of their run-first offenses. And also you're going to find the single best run defense for the stretch, armbar, and pray offense that is running rampant here in Madden 20. I'm very excited. I put a lot of work into this game plan, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. So let's go ahead and click forward into the next video showing you a nice defense that you can run out of the 4-6 bear under to get the players that you're facing out of their run-first offenses. In this video, we're going to lay the foundation for why we selected the 4-6 bear under as our lead defense here for Madden 20 on playbook.gg. As I'm sure that many of you know, many of our competitors have already released defensive game plans this year, and I have absolutely nothing bad to say about those game plans. The reason that we did not release a game plan within the first couple days here on playbook.gg is that over the years we've learned that day 1, day 2, day 3 defensive game plans are always a shot in the dark as to what the offensive meta is going to be and how to counter it. In years past, we've always put our focus into countering the previous year's meta in June and July, going into the new game released in August. This year, however, for the first time in probably over a decade, we're seeing that many of the early launch guides that are being released, while they do exactly what they say they're going to do, they're actually not applying to what the meta truly is. You can have great blitzes that are going to apply pressure on the quarterback when they're out there passing on 3rd down and 12. However, the issue this year is that unless you can win on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd downs to get them in that 4th and long where your blitz is going to get pressure on the quarterback, you're really going to struggle with a lot of these blitzes that in the past stop the run and the pass, because a lot of people are putting a fullback on their field and they're running the ball. In fact, 90% of pro players are running the ball about 80% of the time, and that's something that we have not seen in over a decade. So enter the 4-6 bear. Buddy Ryan brought this defense into the NFL in 1978, and it really got its claim to fame with the '85 Chicago Bears that won the Super Bowl that year. And the reason that I like the 4-6 bear is because of the personnel grouping. First of all, you have 3 linebackers on the field. If you were to compare that to, say, the 3-4 bear, your inside linebacker, for instance, with the Seahawks, it's Bobby Wagner, you're going to need a second inside linebacker. When you flip that formation, all it does is just flip the zone coverage, but the players don't move. It's just a safety rotation. With the 4-6 bear under, if you flip your formation, you'll notice that there's 2 yellow zones, for instance, in the cover 3. If you flip it, that yellow linebacker with the dot, not the X, is going to flip to the other side. So this allows you to be flexible and have just one great inside linebacker that you can use to make all your run-stopping plays. Now, we're going to go ahead and focus on the main meta right now, and that is going to be the I-form close, halfback stretch. And players are going to put a arm bar running back at the back of their eye, and they're going to run this because of two reasons. One, the run is one of the best run blocking plays in the game this year. And two, the arm bar allows you to spam the stiff arm animation and get broken tackles for extra yardage. There are 4 running backs currently in regular team head-to-head that have this ability. Ezekiel Elliott is hands down the best, but you also have Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, and also Nick Chubb on the Browns that can all arm bar. Now, again, with this play, a lot of players are just running the ball to the outside and arm barring people. So we'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. You see, you get to the outside, and then you just spam A, you get the arm bar animation, you break a tackle, and then you fall forward for big yardage. This is what everybody's doing, and they're running the ball 20 times for 250 yards, 300 yards, and you can see why a lot of these blitzes that a lot of the other competitors that do tips in the Madden community are putting out do not work, because they're showing blitz. They're basically making the blocking easier because they're showing blitz. Now at the 4-6 bear under, however, we're going to go ahead and show you that this will not stand to be effective against this defense. And this is why we love this defense, because we're also going to still be able to apply pressure on the quarterback. So what we're going to do here with this defense is we are going to spread our line, and we are going to crash the line down to the inside, and then we are going to show blitz. Now, the reason I do that is because this defensive end will line up slightly differently, and he will help set a better edge than if you were just to show blitz and crash down right away. If you don't believe me, you can go into practice mode and try it yourself. You will definitely see a difference. Now, with this defense, you may notice that against the I form close, you kind of have these corners that are misaligned. What you could do if you're worried about getting bombed over the top is go ahead and invert those safeties, or I'm sorry, those corners into deep halves, so that way they can play over the top and not get beat deep. As far as stopping the run goes, however, we're going to invite the stretch look. As you can kind of see right here, this invites the look like, okay, maybe I could get outside on this look. They've got a lot of guys bottled up inside of my tight end. Look right here. They've got the 3 down linemen that can be easily blocked. This linebacker can be blocked. If we just get a block on this guy, we're out and free, right? Well, wrong. What we're going to do here with this blitz is we're going to, it's not even a blitz. We're just going to user this linebacker, and you're going to stand right behind the respective defensive tackle that is in front of him. And all you're going to do is wait for that ball to be snapped, and you're just going to run straight down. And I'm talking straight down. Do not run to the outside. Just go straight down. And what you're going to see is that the guard on the play will turn around and not block you. So you're going to see it right here. He turns around, and you end up getting the hit stick in the backfield. Very, very easy to do. Now, in this example, I'm just going to go ahead and show blitz and crash down. You can see that that defensive end does not line up the same. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that show blitz. We're going to spread our line, crash down, and now I'm going to show blitz again. You see how he lines up outside of the tight end. That is the difference that we make on this play by doing the setup my way as opposed to just showing blitz right away. Now, again, you stand right behind the defensive tackle, and you're running straight down. You see that that guard will ignore you, and you're going to be able to get that hit stick in the backfield for a fumble. Now, the thing that I talked about earlier was that I prefer the 4-6 bear under to the 3-4 bear, because a lot of times your opponent will just go ahead and flip their formation. And if you were to flip yours, what you would end up getting, let's say this were a 3-4 defense, you would have a situation where this basically outside linebacker, this player is not a safety in the 3-4. This is another inside linebacker. This would be your other inside linebacker. This would be your outside linebacker, or, you know, a defensive end. And then this would be either an outside linebacker or a defensive end as well. So the 3-4 bear does not align the same. Now, if your opponent flips the formation thinking that they can get cute on you, all you have to do is flip your formation. And as you see right here, the linebacker flips sides. That is all that needs to happen. You see that the safety just rotates down. Then all you have to do is go ahead and set up your play the exact same way, and you're good. Now, if this linebacker goes ahead and shows blitz, all you have to do is just back him up to that depth that we were at, stand behind the respective defensive tackle that's in front of him. And again, you are shooting straight down. Do not try to angle, just go straight. And what will happen is you should get a tackle in the backfield. So you see right here, we go ahead and shoot straight through. We're going to get that tackle in the backfield for a loss. So this is going to absolutely shut down the halfback stretch. Again, all you're doing is spreading the line, crashing the line inside, slant inside, and then you're going to go ahead and show blitz, and you're going to stand right here behind the D tackle and run straight down when the ball is snapped. And that's going to get you more of those tackles in the backfield. Now you see right there when we miss our play, right there we miss the tackle in the backfield. That is why I like to set it up this way, because when you have this defensive end out here that you've spread and then showed blitz, he does a fantastic job of setting the edge. You really struggle to set the edge against the stretch in this game. It is really, really tough. And you see that we got this little like 3-point triangle. This is very, very tough to navigate through right here. Even though 3 guys just got blocked on this play, you really don't have a whole lot of room to run. You see that this is very, very tough. In fact, this would be a perfect screenshot for this game plan overall for stopping the run. You can see how this is completely bottled up. Now, again, the more you practice this, the better you're going to be. So spread your line, crash your line inside, show blitz, and just stand right behind this defensive tackle. Again, they snap the ball. You're running straight down and making that play in the backfield. If you don't, you see right there, they were able to get outside, but all they got was about 3 yards, 4 at the most. Again, I'm using 2 hands for 2 controllers, so that's probably why I'm missing right here. If I had somebody else snapping the ball for me, it would be a lot easier. But again, you're going to see right here, just run straight down. Do not angle to the outside. Straight through the middle will get you to the ball carrier. You see right there, that's going to be a tackle for a loss. Now again, if they flip the formation on you trying to get cute, you just flip yours. Do the exact same setup, spread, crash down, show blitz, stack your linebacker right here, right behind the guy, and then you're just going to run straight to the inside. That's going to get you right to the ball carrier for that tackle in the backfield. Now, the setup that we're using right here is going to double. It's going to help work for some of our blitzes that we're going to use in this guide. It's also going to help stop other runs in this guide. We've got blitzes, we've got coverages. We definitely know how to stop the run. And I think that's what's going to set this defense apart and make this one of the meta defenses that you're going to see quite a bit here in Madden 20. In this video, we're going to show you how to slow down the I-form close slot halfback stretch. Now, fortunately for us, this play is not in a ton of playbooks. It's only in the Oakland Raiders playbook and the Jacksonville Jaguars playbook. But if it is something that you're going up against, it is very, very tough to defend. Now, we're going to go ahead and show you the main defensive setup that slowed down the stretch from the right side. Now, obviously, in this formation, you would not run the stretch to the right side. There's just no shot you're going to be able to do anything against it. You can definitely tell that it slows it up. Right there, we're able to nullify the first free ability that Le'Veon Bell has and deactivate him. So the issue with this is definitely when they start to run the ball behind the Twins. The Twins blockers in this game are insane. So what you're going to notice here is that as they run it, you have to really scrape to the outside. You see right there that they get a block. You're really relying on block sheds in a game where block sheds are not that prevalent. Guys just do not shed very well in this game this year. So again, we're going to go ahead and show you the exact same setup. If they run that ball to the left, you're really relying on Leighton Vander Esch to make a play. You see right there, you're still able to kind of get outside. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add in a little bit of a tip that was in an older edition of Madden. So we're still going to set up our same defense. We're going to go ahead and walk this player down, Woods, the free safety in the middle of the field. And what we're going to do when the ball snapped is we're going to click the right stick in. The right stick is known as the send the spy. And it also works in the run game because it'll start to get players that are backpedaling in the run. We'll go ahead and show you the replay. You notice that in this replay, this player that we have backpedals. He's not in the run fit. So he's a pass defender. So he's backpedaling. He's not really active in the run game. So what you're going to be able to do now is click the right stick in and get him to just play a part, do something in the run game. So we run the ball here. I'm going to click the right stick in. It's the right stick on PlayStation. It's the right stick on Xbox. So you click that stick in. He becomes a run defender and he rallies down. Now right there you saw Leighton Vander Esch was able to get off his block. But had Leighton Vander Esch not gotten off his block, if you had not clicked that stick in, you can imagine that this player right here would not have done this. He would have been in center field. Now all of a sudden you get outside of Leighton Vander Esch, you're able to turn that corner. So just imagine that Vander Esch doesn't block shed and you don't have Woods right there. That's going to be a lot of trouble for you. So by adding Woods into the run fit, by clicking the stick in, that's going to significantly help us stop and slow down this run. The whole point of this is just to get them to a point where they realize, okay, I can't run this every play. So all we're doing is we're walking this safety down. That way, if they run the ball to the backside of the formation, we can go ahead and click that stick in, turn him into a run defender, and that's going to help free up our other players to block shed and make plays in space, whereas they would have gotten double teamed had he not been in the equation. So again, we go ahead and show you this. You can put Woods. You can experiment with this in a number of spots. I've been putting Woods, if you have time, you can move him all the way out here. And I've noticed that that tends to help as well. So we'll go ahead and show you here. They snap the ball, you click that stick in, he comes in off that edge, that frees up our user to really get across. So you're just going to notice that doing this doesn't necessarily plug the run. It's not like the player is going to fly in and make the play untouched, but you're definitely going to notice that you can get better production. You could definitely toy around with where he is. You'll notice that the more you try with him, the more different places you'll see that player's block shed differently. This is going to be something that you're going to have to practice. I think that right now, the only thing that's really going to keep this stretch play alive against this type of defense is the arm bar. The arm bar, I'm on record. I think it's going to go away. I think they're going to nuke it. I think they're going to nerf it quite a bit. And when they do, that's going to really help everyone out. But you can see right here that this play, because you get the outside leverage with the purple, with the yellow defender, with the outside blue to Byron Jones, you can still get those block shed stops on the weak side. You add in Xavier Woods right here. The closer to the box, the better, because it's going to take you a second to click that stick in. You don't want him to be drifting too far away where you can't get back into play and make a play. But you're going to notice that, again, this is really going to help you. You see right there, you click the stick in, it just causes the offensive line to retarget, and you see that Leighton Vander Esch can more easily get off a block and make a play, whereas he doesn't have to worry about another player really disrupting this. This is a really good example right here. You see that Tyron Smith or the receivers don't even block Vander Esch. Because of this, they have to go out and block that safety that we clicked down. So a player that might have blocked Vander Esch in this video is now having to block a safety that we click the right stick in. That allows Olawale to have to be the solo blocker on Vander Esch. We free up our user to really contain the run as well. So we're going to bottle this up. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that this will shut it down for negative yardage, but it's definitely going to put them in a spot where they're not going to have 3rd down and 2 every down either, which is a definite victory. There's not too many defenses in the game that slow down this run. So you're definitely going to get benefits out of this. Again, you see how we're really able to pursue and make this play. If they don't have armbar, they're in a lot of trouble because that's only a gain of 1 or 2 right there. In this video, we're going to go over how to slow down the halfback dive from the I-form close because a lot of players really like to use the stretch and the dive to complement one another in this formation. They don't particularly like to throw too much. So if you can shut down those runs, you should be in really good shape. Now, we're going to use the exact same setup formula, spread the line, crash the line inside, and then show blitz. Now, what we're going to do here on this play is I'm going to show you how I like to shoot the gap. I like to stand, just behind that D tackle, just like you saw right there. And I like to basically shoot down around the outside hip of the D tackle. So what I'm trying to do is get the fullback to block into the A gap where I look like I'm going to shoot. And then I'm not really swerving to the outside. I'm just putting my stick angle. So I'm going at this angle right here. So rather than straight down into number 70 like we do on the stretch, we're going to kind of aim at this area right here. What that should do is it should swerve the fullback, allowing you to come in and make a play. Now, if this doesn't work, we're going to show you a backup plan in this video as well. So we'll go ahead and cover that too. But you can definitely see how I swerve around and make that tackle in the backfield. Now, he breaks the tackle. Obviously, that's a little bit tough. Zeke Elliott's the best running back in the game for a reason. But you can see that we're able to hit this run in the backfield with this manual gap shoot. So, again, that's all we're doing. We're going to go ahead and run down, swerve to the outside. You see how we're able to make that play in the backfield. The fullback will not be able to adapt to this. They basically target this the same way every time. This is why I really recommend getting in practice mode. You guys have to get in practice mode for blitz setups. You're also going to have to get in practice mode to stop the run. This is something that's brand new this year. Not really brand new, but having an OP run game is something that a lot of players aren't used to defending. So you see, again, we're just going to swerve around to the outside. Now, that's the issue, right? What happens if the fullback gets you and they run up the middle? You see right there that he was able to skedaddle right up the middle and pick up a first down. That's where we're going to start to bring this tip to the next level. What we're going to do here is we're going to utilize the right stick click that we showed you in the video on how to slow down I-form close slot. So what happens is when you click the right stick in when the ball is handed off, this player in the deep middle third will shoot down into the middle even though he's not in the run fit. So you see as we look at the run fit, the free safety does not have run responsibility. He is a pass defender. And you can actually get him involved on the play by clicking the right stick in. So what I do is while I'm shooting the gap, I'll click the right stick in to get the free safety to follow me. So you'll see kind of how it looks. He follows in. Now you see there's really no room up the middle because we're just wedging it up inside. So you're not really going to be able to run this dive up the middle on this defense. And this is great because I think that with this particular defense, they're going to see, oh, well, he's shutting down the stretch. That must mean that the dive is wide open. Well, then they go to that dive call, you click the stick in, send the guy, and you see that he becomes a run defender. Even if he gets blocked, that allows somebody else to get free. You see right there on that example, he just blocks the free safety. You know, if you get a player that is moving on to block the free safety, you see right here, he doesn't really throw more than a chip block on Sean Lee before he goes to target the free safety in the middle of the field. That allows you as a user, it allows the other computer players that are primary run defenders to block shed and make plays. So clicking in the stick necessarily isn't about getting the free safety to make the play as much as it is just to provide another body, another roadblock, another person that people can't just lock onto your user or lock onto anybody in general to stop the run. They're going to have to really kind of chip block, which is going to be nice for our defense because block shedding is pretty tough to come by in this year's game. So again, I just like to send that player in. You see very clearly what happens. You see that free safety is down there fighting with Jason Witten at the end of the play. It's just going to make the run defense for your actual front seven that much better. So you see right here, we're able to basically, once he comes down into this lane, I mean, you can definitely tell if Jason Witten doesn't let go of that guy, the free safety is going to meet him right here in this alleyway. You could definitely tell that the free safety is free to roam and make this play. You just want him to be active. You don't want him to be drifting back, 20 yards off the ball in this area of the field. Just getting him down here is going to help your run defense that much more. And that's all we're looking for is we want our opponents to be in a situation where they've got 3rd down and 7, and they come out in the shotgun and look to pass, and that's going to open up our blitzes that we have in this game plan as well. In this video, we're going to show you a run defense that absolutely shuts down the I-form close slot halfback stretch. Now, this is going to be very similar to the run defense that we run out of the 4-6 bear under, but there is a little give and take. With this defense, you're going to be better against the I-form close slot halfback stretch, whereas the 4-6 bear under is easier to set up but struggles a little bit more against that run. So with this defense, we're going to base a line that's going to walk the linebacker down into the B gap on the right side. You're going to crash your line to the inside. You're going to purple that B gap defender and blitz the outside linebacker that is also in a purple. And then you're going to walk this safety down. Now, you're going to see that we could go ahead and shoot the run to the right just as we do in the 4-6 bear under by running straight down behind our defensive tackle and hitting the running back in the backfield for a loss. Now, with the 3-4 bear, you have safety. So it's a little bit tougher than the 4-6 bear where you can just have Bobby Wagner come in and make that play left or right. You're going to need big hitting trait safeties to force the fumbles, but you can still shoot this in the backfield for a loss. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the run to the twin side because that's probably the best run in the game. So a lot of people like to go ahead and run the halfback stretch to the twin side of the field. And what you're going to notice here when we run this is that if we take the right stick and click it in, Bradley McDougald, who we just walked down, will get into the run fit, causing the wide receivers to really ignore the outside linebacker, and he should spin to the outside getting this play. So you see right there, he spins, and he gets blocked straight into the stretch. And there's really no ability for them to cut that ball back to the inside because we're going to have that safety that we clicked in playing the middle, as you see there in the replay behind the play call menu. And then we also have our user to clean up the cutback as well. So this is great in that we have a defense where the computer actually plays this run and we don't have to be responsible for cleaning up the outside like you see in so many other defenses across the Madden community. So again, this setup is base a line, crash your defensive line to the inside, put the B-gap linebacker into a purple zone, and then you see that we have 2 purple zones. So you're going to go ahead and blitz the outside linebacker. He's going to double as a pass rusher if they drop back to pass. So you want an outside linebacker that can pass rush. Now we're going to go ahead and run the ball left again. And I'm going to click this stick and we'll show you. And I talked a little bit too long, so we'll go ahead and set that up here again. But again, base the line, crash the line inside, purple zone, and blitz this guy. Last step is move the safety down right here. And then you're going to be using in this spot ready to clean up the run to the right. And if they run left, you're going to go ahead and click the right stick in. And you should get that outside linebacker spinning and making that tackle in the backfield. Now, right now, yes, the armbar is prevalent in the game. But my anticipation is that EA is going to clean this up. This is going to be something that you end up getting more stops once the armbar is less effective. For right now, yes, occasionally they may be able to armbar that defender. But the saving grace is that you're going to be able to clean up because you're also unblocked on this play as a user. We'll go ahead and show you one more example of the run to the twin side of the formation. My recommendation here is that you run this with auto flip on. So what I'm going to ask AntCap to do in this video is run twins to the right and run the stretch behind that. And we'll go ahead and show you the mirrored setup for this run. So again, you can just run this defense on auto flip. You just wait for the defense to pick a play. If you see I form close slot, turn your auto flip on, call cover 3, and then you're going to do the exact same setup. Base align. This linebacker right here, Wagner goes into a purple zone. You blitz Griffin, you crash down, and you walk your safety down to the twin side of the formation about right here. Right here, so that way Julio Jones realizes he can only chip block Barkevious Mingo, and he has to get to that safety. Now again, you're going to be using McDougald and clicking the right stick in if the run goes to the right. So you click that stick in, he spins to the outside, he makes that tackle, or at least he gets hands on the ball carrier in the backfield. You can see here as we've labbed this over and over, AntCap has 32 rushes for 25 yards. So this is very, very consistent. I would place a healthy wager that this is the single best I-form close slot halfback stretch defense in all of Madden that you will find on any tip site here in the community. In this video, we're going to go over hands down our favorite blitz in the 4-6 game plan here at launch of Madden 20. And that's going to be the pinch dog 3. Now, at its best, this blitz is going to be a 2-man rush that is unslidable. But you can make this more consistent the more guys you send. Although I will say the 2-man variation is very consistent if you follow the instructions. So this is probably our most setup intensive play on the game plan, but you guys will get this down like any other year. It's muscle memory. You're going to get to it. Let's go ahead and start off with our 5-6 technically man variation of this blitz. Very, very simple. Slide the line away from the running back, crash the line away from the running back, QB contained, and then you're going to move this player back a couple steps. That simple. What this is at its best is going to be a 6-man pressure, and you also blitz the inside linebacker. You see right there that what you're going to get is contain off the right and contain off the left. Guaranteed pressure, you see that you have both contains coming in at the quarterback. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start to whittle away on this. My recommendation is you start to whittle away is the more guys that you move or start to drop in coverage, you're going to want to move your outside linebacker wider. So as we set this up here, what we're going to do is we're going to drop that D tackle into a hard flat. So this is your setup with the D tackle and the hard flat. My recommendation is just move this player out wide. You can recontain, and you always need to mug the gap with this player. I like to hold the right trigger. Now you're going to see that Oluokun comes off that edge. The running back is aloof. That contain comes around the left side. So basically what ends up happening is you're flushing the quarterback. You got a free runner off the right side. And if they run to the left, that contain is going to get them around the running back's blocking angle. Now let's go ahead and take away more players. So we're going to go ahead and drop this guy back. You can put this guy into a hard flat. You're going to put this guy into a bluff blitz. You still blitz this inside linebacker. And again, I like to move Oluokun out. If you move him out, that makes sure that he comes in free off the edge. So now this is basically a 3-man variation with a contain to the backside. So you see right here, Oluokun comes off the edge. If he doesn't, you get a disengage animation. You had a looper off the right side as well. Somebody is coming free on this play. Now what we're going to do is punt the ball back to AntCap, and I'm going to set up the 2-man variation. 2-man meaning you've got the 2 rushers off the right. You still do have a contain off of the left. So in theory, you could say there's 3 guys allocated to either rushing or contain assignments. But in theory, it's basically just a 2-man pressure, which is going to allow you to drop 8 guys into coverage. So we're going right back to pinch dog 3. I like to run this on, I usually like to run this with the auto flip on. Usually the strong safety is just going to align to the tight end side, so that's the way it's going to work. Okay, so here's our example where we're going to drop everyone but 2 rushers off of the right side. So we're going to go ahead and hard flat Jarrett. We're going to bluff blitz McKinley, and we're going to spy Beasley. Now again, it's so important. You need to move this guy out wide. Move him out. You need him rushing off that edge where he can get around free. Now, this is the least consistent of the setups, but I will still say that it comes in the vast majority of the time you set it up. It will come in off that right edge. You see right here how he just comes around the end. Now, again, that's a two-man. It's basically a two-man pressure. You cannot scramble. That's the other great thing. You got 2 contains and a spy. You will find with this setup that it will come in, though. So let's go ahead and set this up. Go ahead and go right here. One thing I find with the two-man variation is if you move this guy a little bit to the inside, that helps occupy the left guard a little bit better. I find that it's just the small things that make a huge difference. We get the 2-minute warning. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. Now, I recommend going into practice mode with this blitz because it is, again, the most setup intensive blitz that we have in the game plan. But as you guys practice through it, it'll become pretty consistent for you. So you see right here, this is our setup. You're going to stand over the center. I like to hold either the left trigger or the right trigger. If you can get the predator stance where he leans forward, that's where it really pays off. You see right there, that's where it comes in and he gets the sack on the quarterback. We'll go ahead and do one more rep here. You saw right there, I moved Aluakun a little bit wide, and I also moved that contain off the left side in a little bit as well on his contain angle. So you see right here, if you put him kind of right there, that'll allow you to really get through this. And you see right here, you're all set up. Now, yes, it's taken me a little bit of time to set it up. I'm doing it a little bit more slowly than I would in an actual game because I want to be sure that you guys see the setups. Again, you see right there, that's double pressure on the quarterback. This is an insane 2-man variation. Again, you're going to need fast fingers to set it up, but if you guys put in the work to lab this setup, you're going to be just fine. And technically, it cannot get soft box because while it is, I called a 2-man variation, you do have 3 guys rushing the quarterback, so you won't get the automatic pancakes on this play either. The other thing that's worth talking about is that the user player is a safety. So a lot of the best defenses right now, those 3-4 odds, you're using linebackers. Those guys just don't get animations this year when they are basically lurking the field. So a lot of players are complaining about not getting those animations. But in the 3-4 bear, the player we're using is an actual safety, and safeties can ball hawk still. So you get the benefits of being able to be in a 3-4 defense, user the middle of the field, and actually get animations while being able to get crazy pressure with just 2 rushers. In this video, we're going to go over a situational blitz that you can use from the 3-4 bear known as Buck Strong Safety 3. Now, with this play, you want to have an elite athlete, and what I mean by that is agility at the safety position. So as you can see here, I put Buster Skrine, who's got the highest agility on the Bears, and you're going to run this against formations that have the running back and the tight end on opposite sides. Now, in the first example, I'm going to go ahead and set this up quickly, and then we will go ahead and break down exactly what we do here to show this to you. So we're going to go ahead and we are ready to go. And what you're going to see here is that the safety that we have on the contain will loop all the way around a blocking running back and come in for a sack. Now let's go ahead and break down exactly how we do this here. The longer you talk, usually the blitzes are less consistent when you're filming the content. So that's why I rushed it on the first example. So we're going to shift the line away from the running back. We're going to slide away the seam flat. You do not want the seam flat next to the edge rusher. You're going to QB contain, making sure that the safety is on the contain angle. And then you're going to put the linebacker that is in the 3-rec hook and a spy, mug the A gap, and pass commit. And if this is done correctly, the running back will block to the middle and the contained man will loop all the way around, getting in for a sack. Now, you have to be aware, obviously, if they have quarterbacks that have the ability for the first broken sack against DBs and safeties. Obviously, that's something that you have to game plan for. I don't anticipate that competitively you will see too much of that unless this becomes a game in which Cam Newton-style quarterbacks are the meta. But I think you're going to see a lot of Tom Brady's, a lot of Matt Ryan's. Right there, you see right there, he didn't finish the sack, but that's okay. But again, we're going to go ahead and set this up, shift the line away from the running back. You're going to slide the seam flat out to the outside. You do not want him anywhere close. You want the running back to look to the middle of the field. Pass commit, put the linebacker in a spy, stand right over the center. And when that ball is snapped, the running back will look at your user, and he's going to loop all the way around in for that free sack on the quarterback. This will only work, again, on formations that have the running back and the tight end on opposite sides. So when you think about it meta-wise, this is going to work really well against your gun bunch style formations. It's not going to work very well against your trips tight end style formations. It'll work well against your gun doubles halfback weak. It will not work well against your gun doubles, if that makes sense. So you're going to see how this is set up here. Again, here's an example of doubles weak. The seam flat is already out near the slot receiver, so you don't have to worry about it. So you just go ahead and skip that step. You're going to put this linebacker down in this gap, and you're going to put him in a spy and pass commit. And the running back is going to stay right at the middle, and that player should come off the edge. Now, right there, he bumped into a player. It's 4th down and 40. Things are a little bit goofy on 4th down and long, but you can see that this is a blitz that very clearly the running back has no clue what is going on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and punt the ball back to Ant Cap. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up another example in which we're going to run this off the right side. This will work when the running back is on the right side. So what I would do if I were you guys at home is I would go ahead and save this in your back pocket against your bunch users until you really determine, is this a person who always puts their bunch on a wide side of the field? Is this a person that always runs their tight end to a certain side of the field? This will help you know how to call your play flipped or unflipped. You can see new in Madden 20 that it tells you the formation your opponent is breaking out of the huddle in. So it says gun bunch. That tells me right away, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to the buck strong safety, and I'm going to blitz off the safeties or the running back side. So we just go ahead and mirror our setup. Slide away from the running back, slide your seam flat out wide, QB contain. You're going to pass commit, and you're going to take this player right here and put him in this A gap. Now, this is a much better blitz off the left side than the right side, in my opinion, but you will get pretty decent production from the right side. So you can see right here, he tries to kind of run this. He goes through the middle. Now, the issue is obviously the right side, they kind of blitz a little bit tighter. The other thing is that Eddie Jackson, as good as he is, only has like 86 agility. So if you know who and where they're going to run their formations, you could go ahead and move your player with the elite agility to that side. So you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and sub Buster Scrine back in with the crazy agility. We're going to set up the play the exact same way, sliding our seam flat out wide. We're going to pass commit, QB contain, put our linebacker in a spy, and stand right here over the center. Now, if they block that running back, you can see that he comes out wide. The elite agility is going to get him in for the sack. So it was nice to be able to show you guys an example where you would think Eddie Jackson, one of the best rated safeties in the game, would be perfect for this, but his agility does not allow for that to work. So you want a player like Buster Scrine to be able to run this. Buster Scrine has elite agility. We're talking 95 agility. You can use players that are basically speed agility guys that don't have the play recognition, the awareness to really amp this blitz up. In this video, we're going to go over a 3-4 bear pinch buck 0 setup. Now, this is a majorly meta play right now in the community. Players are calling it out of 3-4 odd. You see it run out of 3-4 bear. I think that we've got a unique variation of this blitz here that is a little bit more effective, and we're going to go ahead and show it to you. So what you want to do is run this defense with auto flip on, and this is going to be a formula. So you're always going to shift your defensive line opposite the running back and crash opposite the running back. Now, what you're going to notice is that the man assigned to the running back is on the opposite side. You're going to blitz him and QB contain. Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to actually cover the running back with this outside linebacker. I put him into a vert hook and just user him. Now, with this player right here, you notice he's in a contain. Just move him down and then move him and click off of him. The computer will move him back, and he actually becomes a free runner on this play. So you'll see that we get pressure off the left and right with the running back confused as to who to block. So with this play, we're running a contain blitz off the opposite side of the running back, and then we have another contain coming from the second level that is going to be able to sack him. So we'll go ahead and show that to you again here, shifting the line to the right opposite the running back, crashing to the right, blitzing the linebacker that's in the right B gap that is on the running back because we're going to user him, QB contain, drop Campbell into a vertical hook, and then just click on, move Jones and click off. He'll move back to linebacker depth. And then I would just like to stand outside the tackle, hold a trigger. You see that we get pressure off both sides at the quarterback. Now here on 3rd down and 20, I'm going to add in an adjustment that I also like to make. This works best in cover 0, cover 1 style defenses, and that is actually shading your coverage. It's one of those things that a lot of players don't think it works, but you're going to notice here, okay, so the running back's on the right. We're going to go ahead and shift our line to the left. We're going to crash to the left, QB contain, and then we are going to take this player, put him into a vertical hook to user him, and we're going to move this player You see that when we do that, he goes ahead and moves back to the linebacker depth. Now, we're also going to shade outside, and you see that the players move. This is going to protect against your outside breaking routes, allowing you to use her in the middle of the field. This could be a challenge because, as you can see here, man coverage is still pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and try to fumble the ball back to Antcap here, or at least kick it. Now, right there, you saw the pressure didn't come in. That will happen from time to time. No blitz is absolutely perfect. We're going to go right back to that setup that he had there with the running back on that side, and we're going to set up the exact same pressure. And you're going to notice that this should come in, I would say, over 90% of the time. Every once in a while, you'll get a setup where guys bump into each other and it kind of screws up your blitz. Madden's been that way for the last couple years. But you saw right there on the back end, the coverage was good enough that we were able to pick it up. Also, keep in mind that our opponent was not using the running back in a route. If they put the running back on the route, you're guaranteeing pressure no matter what because you're sending 6 against 5. So that's always something to consider. So now again, the running back's on the right. You shift your line to the left, crash your line to the left, QB contain, put the user outside linebacker on the side of the running back into that vertical hook assignment, and you're going to blitz the linebacker that's in the B gap on the opposite side. Last but not least, you go ahead and click on, move him down into the gap and click off. The computer will move him back for you. And then you just like to hold a trigger as that ball is snapped, and you should get pressure off the left side as well as that contain man around the right side. Now, the last adjustment we did not make was the outside shade. So we'll go ahead and do that one more time, and then Antcap's going to go into a different formation for us to take a look at. So we're going to go quickly through this. Again, shifting line right, crash right, blitz the inside linebacker, QB contain, put this player into a vertical hook, click on this player, move him into the gap, click off, and then outside shade. And you see that the corners definitely realign. You can visually see for once that the players realign in this coverage. Now, again, you're seeing that we get the double contain rush, and we're able to get the sack. Now, the last formation where this defense can kind of be an issue is tight formations. And that's simply because you have receivers in compressed, and it makes it really difficult for your free runners to basically run their rush angle without getting bumped into by a teammate or a wide receiver running a route. You can just kind of see that the compression will give a little bit of issues. What I like to do against compression is pinch the line first, then shift them over, then crash and do all the steps that you need to do. So you see right here in this example, the outside linebacker in the B gap is already rushing. We're going to go ahead and blitz this player, put this player into the vertical hook and recontain. Now the 2-minute warning hit, so that's fine. We could go over this setup again here. Again, you pinch the line first, then shift them to the left, then crash, QB contain. You're going to make sure that this player, Riley, is blitzing. This player, Aluokun, is your user. You're going to QB contain. Now this, you'll notice that when you try to move your contain, he doesn't really move back. That's just one of the things that happens in tight. However, you should still, for the most part, get your pressure off that opposite edge of the running back. He's really not going to be able to shift over. You see right there, we end up getting players that are leaking through. We'll go ahead and swap that down. Now that's part of the issue with the tight. We talked about the tight formations. They will kind of bump up your rushers. A lot of what you're going to see with gun tight is not a free runner off the edge. You're going to see a lineman leak through because of all the guys bumping into each other. And you'll take that as well. It does usually result in pressure on the quarterback. Now, you're also seeing just how good man coverage is this year. We know that zone coverage is not great. Man coverage is pretty solid. So it's okay to be in a cover zero blitz. This is the first year in a long time that I feel that I am pretty comfortable running a cover zero blitz. So again here, we put this player into the user assignment. If the running back runs a route, he's your responsibility. This player, you just see if you can get him back to linebacker depth. If you can, great. You're going to see right here that we'll either get edge pressure or a lineman leaking through. So you see right there, there's a lineman leaking through. They all kind of stumble into each other. That is the Achilles heel of this defense. So this is something to be aware of. If your opponent is playing a tight compressed formation, you can still get pressure, but it's easily the least consistent against compressed formations. So we're talking our gun tights, your 2x2s, tight doubles, tight slots types formations, snugs. If you get into your bunch, you should be fine against your bunch style sets. But I just wanted you guys to be aware of the gun tight formation. In the previous video, we showed you a universal setup for the play pinch buck 0 out of the 3-4 bear that applied pressure on any shotgun set with the running back blocking. Now, we showed you at the tail end of that video a little bit of some trouble with players bumping into each other, and we attributed that to tight formations. But we're just going to show you that it is some select tight formations. We're going to show you that most tight formations, you'll still get the pressure. So in this example, we're going to show you tight slots. We're going to go ahead and show you the exact same thing here. You're going to be able to set this up. So we show you the pressure. This is going to get pressure off both sides at the quarterback. So you see right here, we get the contained man and the free looper, free runner off the right edge. Now, what we're going to be talking about here is there are certain formations that will give this a little bit of trouble because you get players cramped in. So one of those formations is the gun tight double. So we're going to go ahead and show you here that with our formula, if we set this up, we will end up with a little bit of trouble with guys bumping into each other. So we're going to go ahead and shift our line away from the running back. We're going to crash away from the running back, QB contain, blitz this player, and drop this player into a vertical hook. Now what you're going to see is you should get pressure. You should, but players oftentimes bump into each other, and it just kind of becomes just a giant mosh pit. And that will get you into some trouble. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to come right back out in that same formation. We're going to show you one additional adjustment I like to make to free up this blitz again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pinch our line first, then we're going to crash them to the left. That helps get players a little bit more smoothly lined up. You're going to do the exact same setup for this blitz. So the blitz looks like this. Now the last thing we want to do is just move Campbell out. Move him out 2 steps. And that's going to really make all the difference in the world with this blitz. So now you see that he comes in. It looks like you even had a D tackle trying to hit that A gap, and you get the free runner off the opposite side with the running back blocking. And now the pressure is now back in this formation against tight formations. Okay, guys, so we got an emergency update already. We're going to be breaking down a universal 3-man pass rush that must be max protected as long as you are setting this up with the safety in the 3-4 bear to the opposite side of the running back. So we're attacking the opposite side of the running back. They have to max protect or float the running back or motion block a receiver. They're going to have to screw up their play to pick this up, and it's going to be an 8-man in coverage type of play. So again, you could run this out of pretty much anything. I really like cover 2 invert. For some reason, this is really standing out to me as my favorite play to call this from. But I'm sure as the year progresses and man coverage ratings get better in MUT, we'll probably shift to that. We're going to base a line. We're going to spread linebackers and then global blitz them. Then you're going to start dropping guys in coverage. I like to put the outside linebacker into a hard flat. You can put this D end into a vertical hook. Now, these 2 players are pretty rigid. You have to spy the nose tackle and bluff blitz the D end right here. Then we're going to go ahead and QB contain. So you can see right here that QB contains the inside linebacker, and then we're going to be able to slide Darren Lee about a step to the outside. That's all you're doing. And then I take this safety and I like to user him. And then if they block the running back, this should come in off the edge. Now, if it doesn't come in off the edge, it's most likely because our pass rusher right here, Lee, bumped into a wide receiver and allowed the offensive line to retarget. This could be a fantastic formation against the gun bunch. If you can consistently get your placements down against this formation, this is going to be really good against spread sets where there's not a slot receiver in compressed to bump into. So again, you're just gonna have to mess with the placement of this player and find your sweet spot for consistency. But once you find it, it's going to come in very consistently. So go ahead and show you right here. Here's the pressure around the end. That's that running back can't get there. So you saw right there against the bunch, it's just about a foot to the outside. Very, very easy setup. And then really all that's going to limit this is if they bump into a receiver. So we'll go ahead and set it up again here. We're going to go ahead and QB contain. And then we just move this guy about a step to the right. He becomes the new blitz angle. Again, I use this safety. I just back him up about a step. And if they block the running back, you're going to be able to get pressure. So you see right there, here he comes off that edge. Running back can't get there. It's going to be a sack and a fumble, sending 3 against 6. Now, again, they're going to have to max protect to pick this up. So if they now go ahead and go into a max protection, you're going to see that it does pick this up. Now, the number 1 rule is to make sure that the safety is opposite of the running back for 2 reasons. 1, that's the side it comes off of, opposite the running back. And 2, because you want to be able to user that player, that safety, you're going to be able to ball hawk with him. That's what's so great about the 3-4 Bears, that you're using a player who's basically an inside linebacker, but he's really a safety, so you can get ball hawk animations because it is a safety position on the depth chart. So Again, they're max protecting here. You see that this kind of gets a speed rush angle. My recommendation is you want to have somebody who is incredibly good at pass rushing as that right outside linebacker. Right there, I'm using Darren Lee, who's actually a coverage inside linebacker, who's pretty fast. But if you have a Khalil Mack, a Von Miller, et cetera, he's going to go one-on-one with that tight end. So that's going to be a huge mismatch for you if you could get this. And keep in mind, I mean, they are blocking 7 to pick this up. So they're going to get absolutely massacred if this is a Khalil Mack, an unstoppable force, you know, one of those pass rushers that can really just destroy receiving tight ends that are trying to block one-on-one. You see right here that there's no double team. So if you have a guy like a Khalil Mack at this spot, it gets ridiculous against the gun bunch. But again, you can see that we have a lot of flexibility with this. We're dropping 8 in coverage, 3 rushers, a spy is on the field so they can't scramble. This blitz is unreal. This really reminds me of like my roots as a Madden player. I'm talking like your Madden 2012 type of game. It feels so like such a throwback blitz that's been a long time coming. Now you can also call this out of cover 1 variations. Again, I feel like this is something that obviously you're going to have to like lab this. There are certain man coverage variations that will work. I just try to you could man up the running back. I mean, a DN's probably not going to do a great job. But again, if you're playing like cover 1, that means 2 of the players that are the linebackers you're supposed to cover are going to be uncovered. But again, they block that running back. You should be able to get pressure. Again, there it comes off the edge, and you've got that covered. So you could do this pretty much out of any play. It's universal. Again, just keep the play opposite of the running back, and you should be fine. So here's an example. If they flip the formation and block the running back, I'm not sure if this will work. This will kind of just sign off this video here. But we're going to go ahead and flip our formation and do the exact same setup. So base of line, spread linebackers, global blitz. You're going to go ahead and drop this guy into a flat. You can put this guy into a vertical hook or man up the running back. This guy still goes on a spy. This guy still goes on a bluff blitz. And then you're going to go ahead and QB contain. Now, again, placement, you're going to have to mess with it. I haven't messed with Hitchens too much, but, you know, whatever team you use, you're just going to kind of tinker with them. And again, you're using this player. So if they go ahead and block that running back, again, you're talking about that pressure. Right there, probably too slow with Ragland or Hitchens off that edge. You're going to have to experiment with the players that you want. Bare minimum, what you're talking about is this is a three-man rush that gets really crazy pressure. They have to max protect. If you have a mismatch at outside linebacker against their tight end, you're still going to get in. And if you don't get in, whatever. You've got 8 guys in coverage. You can run man coverage, which is really good this year behind this blitz and pretty much stick to receivers. And you're dropping 3 extra guys over the middle of the field or into the flats to really kind of bracket some of those man beaters. So this play is on friggin' real. So we've shown you one way that we can go ahead and shut down the flooding concepts out of your standard compression sets like Bunch, for instance. And we showed that with the Cover 3 Cloud Show too. Now, once you're locking down sideline floods to the wide side, players are going to try to mesh you over the middle with crossing routes, and they're going to try to run, these drag style plays where they're just trying to get things over the middle, make you have to defend a drag, a slant, a post, different varying levels of crossers. Now, what we're going to do here in this video is we're going to show you a setup that we like to use for man coverage. And this is going to be a play we're just going to call the Cover 1 Robber Press. And what we're going to do is we're going to shade outside. And you may notice that the players will kind of shift. Now, what I like to do with this play is I like to take my linebackers and I like to put them in hard flats. And then I will lurk the middle of the field. If the running back runs a route, that is yours. And that's really only going to work if they go up the seam. But you can kind of see right here how this works. You can kind of play the crossing routes. You see how the main coverage is really good. Now, Ant Cap just got a fluky completion there, and that's fine. But you see that it was definitely covered. You cannot live that way in Madden 20. So, again, we're going to go ahead and show this to you again. The way this is going to work is the linebackers are the ones that are going into the hard flats, and you're going to be playing the running back's route, assuming that they are going to run a route. If they block, great. That's what you're looking for. But we're definitely going to go ahead and put both those linebackers into hard flats. You're still going to rush your defense to the outside, and you're just going to be lurking. If the running back runs a route, if it's a swing route, the hard flat will take it. If he doesn't run a route, you're now free to use the field. So you see here, I can lurk the field, take away these routes. And you see that they stick like glue. I could go ahead and send a spy. You've got those hard flats that are out there to take away drags. They're out there to take away swings and table routes to the running back out of the backfield. But then if the quarterback breaks pocket, you can also click in the stick and have the player that's out there in the flat pursue the quarterback. So all we're really doing here with cover one robber press is just pressing the coverage, shading outside, and putting those linebackers into hard flats. So we press, we shade outside. You see that the slot corners really realign there. We go ahead and take both of our linebackers, put them in hard flats. And then you're going to lurk the middle of the field. Did not get clicked on right there, but you can see right here that we have an answer for that. The 3-rec takes the running back angle route, which is actually a very, very good route this year. The running back angle route is one of the best man beaters in the game. So it was nice to be able to see that the 3-rec is able to pick up that route. So if the running back runs a route, that's yours. In fact, I want Cap to go right back to that same play because that is one of the better man beating routes in the game. And we'll show you exactly why we like to go ahead and put our guys into hard flats and take the running back ourselves. So I'm actually not going to cover the break over the middle here. And you're going to see that Dalvin Cook should toast Roquan Smith on this play, on the angle route. So you see that he really beats him over the middle. He's going to be able to throw that for a first down. So that's why the running back's route is yours on this play. So I like to go ahead and I'm not going to play man coverage on the running backs. I'm going to take, or the tight end for that matter, I'm going to take the linebacker and I'm going to put them in the hard flats. Those are going to take away your routes that break to the outside. And then you're going to shade your coverage outside as well to really make sure that they're not getting anything that's a man beater to the outside on you. So again, I'm going back to Clinton Dix here. If the running back runs a route, that's yours. So you see he breaks out of the backfield, boom, you cut over the middle, that is you the whole way. Now right there, I was just in a bad spot, but eventually you're going to learn what route your opponent really likes to go to against man coverage. You're going to find that some players really only have one or two good man beaters, and I think that that's why this play is so good, is that you're playing the hard flats on the short outside, you're shading your coverage outside to try to protect against routes that break outside. They're really going to have to beat you over the middle, and then you're lurking over the middle. So that's going to be a big time challenge for your opponent. So we'll go ahead and show you another example here. Here's our coverage that we're using. I like to use our Clinton Dix on this play, and you're just going to rush outside and pass commit. You see he runs a swing route. That's not anything I have to worry about. I can now lurk the middle of the field. You see how the man coverage you really can't throw a curl. The hard flat is there to take that. So if the running back breaks to the outside, really the only route the running back can break on to the outside that is going to really kind of struggle is going to be the wheel route. If they really break to the outside on a wheel route, obviously you have to pay attention, and that's going to be yours, because if the pass rush doesn't get home, the running back will be open for a touchdown deep down the sideline. But that is fine. If you have an opponent that is able to have that much pocket presence, they're able to really be patient and hit a running back wheel 30 yards down the sideline, you've had a fundamental breakdown in your pass rush anyway. So, there's a lot that has to go wrong in order for that to happen. So you see right here, you're waiting on it. Now the running back's yours. You see that, if they have other routes in the area that are, pulling man coverage in that area, those men can turn around and react to the ball as well, as you saw in that play. So this is just a really solid man coverage defense that's going to complement the zone of the Cover 3 Cloud Show 2. Once they go off of those sideline flooding concepts that get picked off by our Cover 3 Cloud Show 2, they're going to have to go to things that beat man, and they're really going to struggle with that if you're running this Cover 1 robber press. In this video, we're going to break down how to shut down the inside zone from the dollar formation. Now, what a lot of players are saying about the dollar this year is that it is not good against the run. And you guys know me personally, Zan. I'm a big time proponent of making dollar and 3-3-5 and all those formations that are kind of, DB heavy, not as good against the run. But the irony is that it is a good run defense if you know what you're doing. So we're going to show you the cover one robber press. You're going to run this on auto flip. And the reason you want to do this is because when you're facing this trips tight end inside zone style, you want this 3-receiver hook to be on the side of the running back. Now with this setup, we're going to take a look at the run fit. So you can see that the safety is actually not in the run fit, left or right, but he's actually going to do a phenomenal job on this play. We're going to go ahead and hard flat the linebacker that is on the running back and user this player in between the slot corner and the defensive end. And what you're going to notice here is when that ball is snapped, we're going to be able to shoot into this gap and make that hit stick on the running back. On top of that, you may have noticed that the 3-rec hook that we just talked about actually gets into the run game as well and shoots across the formation. The reason for that is because the 3-rec hook is trying to get to the 3-receiver side of the formation. The 3-receiver side of the formation is the opposite side, so he's going to run across at the snap and try to get active in the play. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to go that same setup. We're going to go ahead and put the linebacker on the running back into a hard flat. If the running back runs a wheel, you may need to adapt your coverage a little bit, but this is going to be a phenomenal coverage for you. So again, we're able to shoot in, make that hit stick in the backfield on the inside zone. Now, if we do not make that play, and I mean, you should, there's a lane that's big enough for a truck to run through to make that hit on the running back. So you should be making that play. So you should practice it. But let's say that somehow, some way they're blocking you. The 3 receiver hook, as we've shown, is very, very good at just kind of getting active. Now, if you get blocked, chances are you deserve to give up some yardage on this play. I mean, you really only have, when you pull this guy away and you take a look at how this is set up, this looks like you should be able to run on it. So right here, for the sake of this video, I'm actually not going to do anything. And I'm going to show you that the 3-rec hook at least tries to get over there so you can really see the impact of him. See how he just really scrapes over and makes that play on that run? That is absolutely enormous when it comes to stopping inside zone out of the trips tight end style formations. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to give Ant Cap a first down. So I'm going to go ahead and run commit and let him have that. And then we're going to get into how this play impacts the RPO. So the RPO is very popular this year. A lot of players are running the bubble RPO against this. And that's why I chose the cover 1 robber, because you have the man coverage that is associated with this coverage call. And you are able to basically put body on body. So one, just from a pre-snap look, when you actually take the field here against some of these RPOs, you're going to see that you have man on man. So nobody's really in their own sane mind is going to throw an RPO to the right side. But if they do, you can also pass commit on this. So we're going to show you that because this is a manual gap shoot, and the player that is the 2 players that are stopping the run are a user and a player who's not actually in the run fit, you can pass commit on this and stop the RPOs and still get those gap shoots. So we'll go ahead and set this up here. We're going to move the 3-rec hook down behind this linebacker. I'm going to move this player out here. I'm the user, and I'm going to go ahead and pass commit. And what you're going to see is that you're going to see the RPO should get bagged if they wanted to throw that, and I can still shoot this gap. So you see right here that you've got players that are just rallying in man coverage to make that play. Now, you also have the potential for block shed as well. That's definitely something that you'll be able to see. There's just too many bodies. Realistically, nobody's going to be able to run an RPO and live off an RPO against this, because eventually you're going to pick one off. You're going to shoot a gap. You're going to make the guy fumble. They're going to ditch the RPO style plays. Another thing I like to do is shade outside in this coverage. That'll definitely help. We'll go ahead and show you here. I can shoot in. You see right there, like they all just block shed. You've got enough bodies out there to block shed these RPOs. So a lot of the people that try to stop the RPO bubbles are going to run the DB fire to press. They're going to stack the gaps like this. They're going to walk the safeties down. They're going to do all these little things to try to make it so you stop the inside zone, but they're really going to weaken themselves up against the bubble. And that's why the bubble's so good is, they throw that ball to the outside, and this is what you see with the RPO. However, with the man cover 1 call, they really have no chance at doing that. We'll go ahead and show one more rep here to wrap up the video. Again, cover 1 robber press out of the $326 on auto flip against your trips tight end, your tray formations, your trio formations. You walk the 3-rec hook down, you hard flat this player over here, and you're going to user this player. You shade outside, it's going to stop the RPO. You can even pass commit if you wish, and if they hand the ball off, you're just going to fly in. You see right there that we plug the gap, the 3-rec hook does a good job, and we're able to get stops. You see right there, 9 inside zones, -5 yards against the dollar. The inside zone is not going to pick up positive yardage on $326 in our game plan. In this video, we're going to break down coverage combinations that you can utilize from the $326. Now, what you're going to want with this formation is you're going to want to call the play cover 3 cloud show 2. Now, you're going to want the cover 2 side, that outside corner that's in the blue zone, on the wide side of the field. So when you look at the actual play call menu, you may not know this, but you can see little transparent hash marks behind the play art. You can see the balls on the left hash. You want the cloud flat to the right. Now, what we're going to do here on this play is we're going to put the slot corner right bumper that is over Thielen. We're going to put him into a vertical hook. The vertical hook is going to serve 2 purposes. 1, it's going to run down the seam, and 2, it's also going to reroute that slot receiver Thielen. Now in this example, we're going to play off coverage. You see you're going to get a pretty generic zone chuck, and what that's going to do is that's going to allow him to kind of widen out that that corner because he chucks him to the outside. And what that'll allow that to do is for the outside third to rally down and pick that off. So you saw that that was a really simple click on right there. I just rallied down and made the pick myself. Now that was against the curl flat corner. That's everybody's favorite deep corner route in the game over the last 2 or 3 years. A lot of people will spam that out of gun bunch. A lot of people still spam that out of gun bunch this year as well. So now we're going to see here the ball's on the right hash. Antcap is going to go ahead and run that same exact play, curl flat corner, and he's going to try to throw that corner route to Thielen, again to the wide side of the field. So now we see that the little transparent hash marks are to the left of our play art, so we know that that's the wide side of the field, and we're going to go ahead and flip our play accordingly to make sure. Now, in this example, we're going to get a little bit more advanced. I'm still going to place that slot corner that's over the point of the bunch into a vertical hook, but now I'm going to individually press Thielen. And what you do to do that is you're going to hit Y, that's triangle if you're on PlayStation, A for individual adjustments, the receiver, and then you're going to click the right stick down, or just flick the right stick down, not click it in. And that's going to individually press Thielen. And what that's going to do is that's really going to throw him off his route at the line, kind of delaying the release of this. And it's going to throw him into a spot where he's going to break on that third, really into the outside third. So you see right here that with a guy like Duke Shelley, I'm able to click on and make that play. Now, Duke Shelley, for those that don't know, is probably going to get cut by the Bears in training camp this year. He's not even going to be on their roster. So that's something to consider right there, is that I'm getting production out of a player like him. I'm not relying on a zoned out or a ball hawk like Eddie Jackson. I wanted to illustrate that the best I can. Now I'm going to go ahead and punt the ball back to Antcap, and we're going to move on to another corner. A lot of people this year haven't been throwing the curl flat corner because it is a little bit deeper, the windups are longer, and they don't trust their quarterback to make an accurate throw. So they're going to start to run down to the Z spot corner that is also found in bunch. And again, we're still going to play that same exact style of coverage. Again, here the ball's in the middle of the hashes, so we'll go ahead and just wait for Antcap to determine which side he wants his bunch on, and we'll flip accordingly. So we come out, you see the bunch is on the right, we're in good shape. So I'm just going to individually press Thielen, put that same player into a vertical hook, and you should be fine here. So now here's the Z spot. I'm going to go ahead and contain my pass rush so we can actually step into this throw a little bit, but you would have your front three rushing on this play. So you see the jam to the outside. Now he's going to run that corner. And you see that we can still make that click on in that play with ha-ha. Now right there, I didn't click on hardly at all. I was very, very late. We're going to go ahead and throw this to the wide side of the field now, going back to the left. And you're going to see that if you make this click on, it's going to be very easy for you. So individual press on Thielen. And then you're going to put that corner into a vertical hook. The vertical hook is the one that jams. So hook curls will not jam. Hard flats over that player will let him still have a free release. You do not want Thielen to have a free release off this. You want to just throw him to the outside so he's running his route smashed into the sideline. So you see the jam, releases him to the outside. Now he's breaking. And you see how we could go ahead and click on with Duke Shelley and make that swat and shut that route down. Now, last but not least, a lot of players are starting to look into some of the different abilities that come with some of the superstar X Factor type players. The route apprentice corner is a much more quick breaking corner route, and it is more shallow. What you're going to find here with this coverage is that it's absolutely perfect because you can have that cloud flat that is going to be able to sink underneath of this. So the cloud flat that is found on this play to the outside is why we want to flip this to the bunch side. Now, the other thing you can do if your opponent is really throwing the check down game, if they're just playing cloud flat, hard flat, you've got this 3-rec player right here. So against cloud flats, a lot of people will throw the ball to the tight end. You do have the ability to put this this linebacker into a hard flat. So that way you have somebody that can defend a quick flat throw, and then you could just use this player instead over the middle of the field. So you see that he gets shoved to the outside. And again, you see that actually right there, I was anticipating getting the safety. It gives you a Mukamara in that spot. So you can actually click on and make that pick with a Mukamara. We'll go ahead and run this one more time against the route apprentice corner, again, going back to the right side. And what you're seeing is that every single one of these corner routes is being thrown into traffic. He's not getting open. He's not using pull routes. He's not getting these pull routes to pull the safeties away. The way that this little individual press works on this receiver is going to be all the difference in the world. So we'll go ahead and show you again. You might go ahead and do, so you see you got hard flat and a cloud flat to the right to cover the corner route in the tight end. You're going to lurk the middle of the field with Trevathan. So you see he gets shoved to the outside. Now he's going to throw that ball. You just go ahead and click on the Fuller, make that interception. So the route apprentice corner will not work from the bunch either. Now, where this play, in my opinion, will start to struggle a little bit is when they start to go spread. If they start to go with the spread formations, it's going to be tougher to get the redirect on the slot receiver. They might run a sail concept with a tight end. Tight ends don't get pressed too much. That's something to look out for yourself. But for the people that run bunch, which is what you're mainly going to run into, you can very clearly see that this is going to stop any of those sideline flooding plays that players really like to spam. In this video, we're going to go over a little blitz out of the $326. We wanted to make sure that we gave you guys something to blitz out of, and we're going to run the strong eagle slant 3, and you want to run this away from the running back side. Now, with this play, you're going to go ahead and blitz the linebacker that is already blitzing, and that's going to make sense because when you press, if you press repeatedly, you'll get that linebacker to show blitz. That's something new in the game this year. And what you're going to do here on this play is I like to go ahead and QB contain, and then I control this player on the running back side. And this should get you pressure off of the edge. As you see right here, that contain comes in, the running back is unable to react to it. So this is a little bit different than the DB Fire 2 press, where in previous years, the contain defense, especially last year, you could do this sending 5 or 6 and get pressure. You're going to need to be a little bit more creative. So the strong eagle slant 3 is a great play for that. So again, all we did there was re-blitz the blitzing linebacker, press until he shows blitz, and then we QB contain, slide in the seam flat, and we're just going to stand on the side of the running back. So this gives you kind of a 7 across look here, and then you get that contain rush, or you'll get a disengage angle, as you see right there, from the linebacker. The linebacker's on a little twist stunt with the defensive end on this play. I'll go ahead and show that to you again. We'll have Ant Cap come out in the same thing. That's why the disengages are a little bit better on this play than some of the other contained defenses that people try out of this formation. So again, we'll go ahead and show this to you again. You see how that there's a little crisscross with Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith? That's going to make this defense all that much better. Now, I like to press to get both the linebackers in there. You see that this is a match defense. You can always drop the match coverage by protecting the sticks and dropping different zones. But if you want to play man match, this is how you do it. You see right here that the contain pressure comes in. We're able to get to the quarterback for an easy sack. Now, this will struggle from time to time against your compression style formation. So I want Ant Cap to go ahead and come out and say like a gun bunch or gun tight, and we're going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when you run this blitz, part of the issue with compression is that sometimes you'll notice that the players bump into one another. So we'll show you right here. Hopefully they don't. You'll take it if they don't. But sometimes the routes that the receivers are on in compression throw the blitzing slot corner off his angle, and that allows the offensive line to pick him up. You see here, actually he comes in on the contain. So you'll take that every single time if you can. But what I was going to recommend on this play, and I'll punt it back here, and we'll show you that setup just in case, is if you're noticing that certain formations are causing, or the tight end's route, whether if it's a spread formation and the tight end's route is bumping into that corner, causing him to get blocked, just move that corner out an extra step so he doesn't bump into him. So we'll go ahead and illustrate that here. So he can go, Ant Cap can go ahead and come back out in like the doubles or whatever he was in. And we'll just assume that the tight end was on a route that was bumping in. And you could go ahead and slide that corner out to make this work better. So again, we re-blitz that linebacker, press. And then let's just say, just for the sake of the video, that Austin Hooper's route keeps bumping into that slot corner, and then the slot corner doesn't come in free. All you need to do is just go ahead and move him out an extra step. Just make sure he stays on his contain. That'll definitely help if you do it that way. And then that extra step of difference is going to allow him to come in free. Or you will get the disengage. In this video, we're going to break down Mr. Smith 26's first contribution to Playbook GG.